Hey guys, today we took out the WL Toys 1/12 scale rock racer. This is called WL Toys 14228. I'm pretty sure those are the numbers. Either way, if you ever look it up anywhere on Amazon or eBay, you'll see this obvious 12th scale rock racer green type chassis. It has 6 LEDs, pretty cool looking actually. I already tested the way they're pointed. They're very straight and even. The light is very well centered already from the factory. So this is a 2.4 gigahertz system, and today we're out here at the small little playground. I'm just gonna take it up this slide right here. Let's look at the slide. Do we see the slide? So we're gonna take it up this slide. We're gonna see if it goes up. I actually haven't even tested it myself yet, but let's just see how it does. So this is a 4-wheel drive, solid. Well, it's not a real solid axle. It looks like a solid axle, but it does have a differential inside. As you can tell, I turned the wheels and they spin the other way. The axle articulation is pretty impressive on this model. Does have a lot of axle movement here. The front is independent suspension. And let's just take a little look. All right, so here we go. We're gonna try to go up this little slide. Everything is original on this model. Haven't done anything other than adjusted the shocks a little bit. So it's slipping. Let's turn it around. It did rain a little bit ago. Can you come closer? It did rain a little bit ago, so I'm pretty sure the slide, which is metal, is pretty wet. All right, so we're almost made it. All right, let's try it again. Let's see if we start from here. So the wheels are just slipping. Let's try to get a little speed in there. So the problem is I'm having a hard time hitting this little ramp in the beginning because the suspension is so poorly balanced. The shocks do not have oil. It's basically just spring, so it's very bouncy, as you can tell when it hits it. So we almost made it, but it might be a little wet right now. So what I'm gonna do, come closer. So I'm just gonna put it up here, and we're gonna take the easy way out and just drive it down. All right, you watching? So we made it down. That's a benefit. So let's just see some of the actual driving action. So when I accelerate, you can see the left wheel here. Just, it always lifts. Always lifts. A lot of these type chassis always generally do this, even the axial. So I've tried to adjust it by making the springs a little bit tighter and stiffer, but it really hasn't done anything, maybe a little bit. So we'll just see what the suspension looks like. We're gonna drive it around on some of these shrubs. And keep in mind, this is only a 12th scale RC. It measures in at 15 inches long, so it's not a tremendously large size, but what you get for the price, and it was $78, including free shipping straight from China. So, you know, I've driven a couple times, came with this 7.4 cell LiPo and charger included. Let's take a look at some of this rock action right here. Come closer. So we're just gonna go a little slow. A little closer, take a little more in-depth action. The actual suspension action is pretty good. As you can see, these are fairly large rocks, and it seems to be doing okay for what it is. Well, you can see the articulation is pretty enormous. The whole chassis is flexing and bending. So right now, let's see if we can make it. It's pretty much at a flipped a little bit here. Let's try to go a little forward this way, over this big boulder. So it made it. Let's go a little bit more backwards and a little bit forward this way. Slowly. So the ESC is pretty well mated to this brushed 540 can type motor. Does have a good amount of low torque. So I've never personally owned a crawler. I always found them to be kind of slow. But this is a good blend of, you know, axle articulation, crawling, and maybe speed. They do advertise it at 50 kilometers per hour to be the top speed, which in miles per hour is around 30 miles an hour. You know, maybe it does get almost to like 27, I would say, but I really doubt it's at exactly 30 miles per hour. So right now we're at like close to full throttle. It is drifting a little bit, but it seems fairly stable. It's not flipping. Not the fastest RC, but I mean, you know, for what you pay, $78, the crawling ability of this RC is I would say, pretty profound. And keep in mind, you know, I do have basically no mods on this chassis. One of the, I guess, what it could benefit from is a little bit stiffer rear end, because as I do accelerate, it does bounce around a lot. Even when I go up this boulder, it basically is almost bottomed out in the back. And when I land also, it hits the rear solid axle. But the four-wheel drive system seems to be working pretty well. It's pretty solid. You can see even as I accelerate, it does a little bit of a spin out. The battery, from my experience, lasts a good amount of time, around 15 minutes, which is basically what you expect. I mean, in terms of milliamp capacity, it's only 1500 milliamp hours, but it does the job. I never really actually had to charge it in the field. Well, you know, then again, this car isn't that fast, so it's not a whole bunch of fun. But let's just try this again. Maybe it's dried up a little bit. The sun came out. And we almost made it, guys. We almost made it. I think if it was a little warmer or drier outside here, I would be good. All right, let's try it one more time. Just not enough. I mean, one thing you could do is put on wheels from a Slash. The actual hexes are, well, they use regular 10 scale hexes. I don't particularly remember the size. I think it's 10 or 11 something millimeters. But that will be my probably next upgrade. I'm going to see how it does. So let's try it again over here. No, we just can't do it. It just bends too much. So we're going to drive a little bit of these boulders again. Honestly, it has pretty good grip on this rock from the stock wheels. Not bad. Go a little bit here. Uh-oh. Well, that was just a little too much for this model. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to see anything else with this RC or whatever projects you think I should do, let me know.